Hello lovely people. This video is gonna be about me because apparently I'm arrogant and I'm not like Peter. So as you know, this is not my typical type of content that I do. I usually don't talk into the camera, but today something happened that kind of flipped my switch and just took me a little bit over the edge. There was a discussion online on Facebook about editing and something. If you want to see the full thing, just go to my Facebook and you can find it. I posted some screenshots. But it's not only about that specific one thing, it's just in general what's happening with my YouTube fame when I became a YouTube superstar. If you didn't catch that, that was sarcasm. The more and more subscribers that I get on my channel, the more and more I get messages from people that people might say entitled, when they expect that you're gonna answer them no matter what, that you're gonna take care of them, their calls and that kind of stuff. And what is happening for the past probably couple of years, almost since the beginning, since I started the YouTube channel, is that a lot of people are comparing me to Peter. Now, if you don't know who Peter is, first of all, under which rock you're living. Second of all, he is the owner of PS Sound, which is a shop in the UK that does super high-end audiophile level installs with the best of the best and most expensive gear and super quality installs. And for some reason, people are comparing me to him, and I just don't get why. Because in my head, the only two things, literally there's two things that we have in common with Peter. First of all, we share RTA measurements online. And second one, we live in the UK. That's pretty much it. There's nothing else that we share. As an example, I'm going to take you very quickly through my day today, like a typical normal day in my life. I woke up about 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. I usually don't check the time because I don't care. So I wake up just because my little one kicks off her blanket every single night and she calls for me to put the blanket up because she cannot find it by herself. So that's the first thing that I do, sometimes earlier, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes a bit late. Then I woke up, I grab my coffee, and I answer a bunch of messages that I usually get overnight because most of my followers are from the US. So we have very different time zones. So in the morning is the time with my coffee, I'm answering messages, emails, that kind of stuff. And after that, I go to my job. YouTube is not my job. YouTube is just a thing that I do on the side, if you didn't know. I go to my 9 to 5. Well, for me, it's more like 7 to 6, but I go there, I do my thing, I come back home, then I have daddy duties, husband duties, and I go to sleep. And this is 4 days of my week because I work 4 days a week. The other days is a combination between family time and my hobby. So car audio is a hobby for me. For Peter, on the other hand, he is a professional. Now, what is the difference between a professional and a hobbyist? It's not knowledge. A lot of people confuse that because a lot of people think that if you know a lot about a certain topic or a certain subject, you are a professional in the field. No, no, no. What makes you professional is that it's your profession. That means that you're making money out of that thing. Peter is a professional because he has a shop, he is a business owner, and that's his life. I am not a professional. Maybe I know a lot about car audio, but I'm not making money out of it. Like this YouTube thing is just pennies compared. That's why I do have my full-time job, and this is just... YouTube doesn't allow me to buy car audio gear. That's how much money I make out of YouTube. So I'm not a professional. My and Peter background as well, I kind of compare myself now to Peter, is just because I want to show you the difference, so that whoever is watching this will never ever compare us again, because his background, he's coming from live event engineering. He was like front of house engineer, he was working with the mixers, and I really don't know because it's not my thing, but he was in the industry. He came from that into car audio and applied all the knowledge that he got while he was working in there. Me, on the other hand, anybody knows how long I am in the car audio? Like, what was my first system and my first install? If you're new to the channel, you're not probably gonna know, but if you follow me for quite some time, especially on Facebook, you will know that the Insignia, the previous car that I had, was my first car. I came from extremely poor background. I've never had a car in my life. When I became 18, I did manage to get my license, but nobody bought me a car because my family never had a car. We couldn't afford it. So Insignia was my first car that I got. I'm trying to count, probably like 7 years ago. And this Skoda is my second car. And this is how long I've been doing car audio. My first YouTube video was published, I think, close to 3 years ago. Half a year back from that is when I started to do car audio as a hobby. It was never my intent to make it into a business. It still not is. I'm not planning to do a business out of it. A lot of people say, like, if you enjoy doing something, if you like doing something, don't do it for free. I totally disagree with that. If you have something that you're passionate about, keep it and keep doing it. Because if you're gonna start doing it for money, then it's gonna lose its appeal. You're gonna start worrying about it just because if it will be your only source of income, it's not gonna be doing it for pleasure, but it's gonna be doing it out of necessity. And I really don't want that. My goal with the YouTube channel was to help people in general. Because when I started 3, 4 years ago, there was literally no information. The only information that I could find was on Peter's channel, surprisingly. Probably if you would dig somewhere deeper in, like, I don't know, DIY mobile audio forums, but I was not in forums. I was past that time, so I never was there. Probably you could find some information, but I didn't. The only channel that I found was Peter's, because at that time, when I got my Insignia, Peter was doing an Insignia. If you remember, there was an Insignia build where he did a massive boot build with all the pretty lights and like laser etched plexiglass, and he did enclosures in the footwells and all that kind of stuff. This was my inspiration to start doing something because I saw that he does that car and I have exactly the same car. And I thought to myself, I might try it because why not? Then probably after a year or something, I found out that the PT is doing meetings in Brighton, and at that time it was one in London. And my wife's family lives in London, so we went for a visit to London and I went to one of those meetings, and that was my first time when I sat in a proper SQ car, and it was Peter's Honda. And first thought that when he gave me a demo, it was quite a long demo, probably like 40 or 50 minutes, I don't even remember. But first thought when I sat in the Honda and I was listening it full tilt blasting is not, oh, how good does it sound, or how amazing the imaging is, or whatever. My first thought was, I want this, I need this, and I will have this no matter what. And I still remember to this day when he gave the demo, and I think it was 8 or 9 hertz, because at that time he had two 18s in infinite baffle and they were firing down. And he found a resonant frequency of his suspension at, I think it was 8 hertz. And when we played at full tilt, you can feel when the subwoofers were moving the car. I will never forget that. So that guy, he was a huge inspiration and he was a start. I learned all the basics from him. And when I say basics, I don't mean the simple stuff. I mean the foundation that is solid and strong and on which I could build everything that I know today. There is one video that he did, it was an Amarok. If you follow Peter, you know the Amarok build that now has two 18s in the back, the new one audio ones with double 6.5s and the kicks. That Amarok started very humbly as well, and he made a video about tuning it. That video, it was probably, I don't know, not the first tuning video that he did, but one of the more extensive ones. And I watched that video probably like 20 times trying to figure out what the hell is he doing. So basically what I'm trying to say is that guy, Peter, he's a huge influence on what I'm doing, what I started to do, especially with showing the RTA graphs and everything. And it was like a massive power boost for me and a huge inspiration to find something to do. At the same time, when I started to do this, we moved house with my wife and we were expecting a baby. We had the baby, and in half a year, I lost my job. So I had basically an unknown future with a baby on my hands and my head full of what ifs. And in order to drown that down, to drown all those thoughts, what I used to do every time, especially in the evenings when the baby falls asleep, when the wife falls asleep, I just go into my car and I was trying to learn about tuning and all that stuff. I was playing with single bands EQ. I was literally spending my nights in the car so that I wouldn't have to think about the bad things and I could concentrate on something else. So like instead of going, I don't know, into a pub or going on drugs, I went to car audio and I started tuning. And then after a while, when I started publishing videos and everything, people started to commenting, oh, you're just like Peter, like mini blah, 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 that kind of stuff. And it's just so annoying because we are totally different people. Our approach to car audio is totally different. Our beginnings are totally different. There's, as I mentioned in the very beginning, there's absolutely nothing in common between us. And what he does is not comparable to what I do. And I guess I'm rambling a little bit because the thing is, I don't know where this thing with YouTube is going and where it's gonna go. Like, I do enjoy doing what I'm doing. I love it. I like to help people. I like when people text me like, oh, you helped me to achieve this and that in my car. Like, your videos helped me to tune and stuff. I love this and I want to keep doing this. And I love when people ask me questions. But recently what I noticed, it's becoming like I became a generic Facebook group where anyone texts anything and just ask me random stuff. Like people text me and ask me about lithium batteries. They text me about like installing SPL subwoofers. It's like, you know what I do. You know that it's not my thing. People ask me about a size of a driver. I mean, there's a manual. People text me when their interface doesn't work because they plug in something somewhere else than it's supposed to. It's like, and I do remember that Peter was talking about something similar as well. But he specifically mentioned his Patreon when his Patreon members were expecting of him much more than they actually should get when they felt, again, as I mentioned, entitled into receiving more support than they really deserve. And I mean, you always try to help people, but some people just take advantage of you. And it's kind of sad because then you're just losing that little passion. And I really don't want that because this is my passion. Like, I found it. I had many hobbies before that, and I don't know, probably you as well. You're just jumping from hobby to hobby, and it doesn't really stick to you. But like this thing got stuck to me for 4 years, and I don't think it's gonna go away because the more I dive deep into car audio in general, the more things I find, and it's just like a bucket that never gets empty. So I really like what I'm doing. It's just I feel that I need to, I don't want to say distance myself away, but distance myself away from people because there's just, I am one and I have 16,000 subscribers, a couple of thousand followers on Facebook, and it's just people all over the place. There's much more of you than of me. A few people already suggested, and I was considering this as well, to have a kind of a consultation tier on Patreon. I don't know. What do you feel about this? Like, do you think it would be fair if I would put like, I don't know, 10, 15, $20 for like half an hour consultation? If you subscribe to the Patreon, you will have my full undivided attention. I think that would be fair. I really don't want to do this, but I kind of feel that I have to do this, not because of money, because as I mentioned, I grew up poor. Money is one of the least things that I really care about. As strange as it sounds, you would think that poor people care about money, but when you grow up without money, you learn to live without it, and it's not your main goal in life. Because my main goal in life is to make my little girl's life better than I had. So I wouldn't do this because of money. What I would do this is just to sieve out all the people that kind of think they need my help, but they could find it somewhere else, and people that actually need my help, actually want it, and they would be prepared to pay for it. Now, as a full disclosure, I do get some very kind donations from totally random people. Out of nowhere, it's like into PayPal, £5, £10. Sometimes that happens. And I really do appreciate. I do appreciate all my Patreons that are sticking with me. I know most of you are like £1 or £2, but it still adds up. It still means a lot. And it means a lot not because of the monetary value, but the fact that you're willing to give even £1 or $1, whatever currency is, even if I'm not giving anything like specifically to you. Because when I started the Patreon, I said that there will be no exclusive content because I want my information to be accessible everywhere to everyone. And I still want to do that. But at the same time, I want to give my information to the people that actually need it. So this is a little bit of a rant that, again, I usually don't do that. If it's not your cup of tea, I do apologize, but it's just something that I want to get out of my chest before I will, I don't know, explode on social media or something. Oh, by the way, the family is gone. They went for a holiday for a couple of weeks, so I'm alone at home. I'm gonna build as much as I can before it's gonna start raining, and I'm gonna update you. So yeah, that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.